Sweet. Sweet.
Let's do it.
All the sweet.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, what's up? Welcome back to Building a Better You podcast.
Whoop whoop.
Sage's here, obviously, and we have Marko
Here, she already forgot it. No.
Puljusevic. Alright,
What a
so we're here in Tampa. Marko lives in Tampa. I just hit him up and was like, basically, do you want to come on the podcast? I followed him for a while. First time we've met, but I feel like we kind of already know each other a little bit. So he was a bodybuilder, was competing. Now he really just bodybuilds as a lifestyle. But basically, we're just going to get straight into it. I just want y'all to hear his story, his mindset, his work ethic is insane. Super inspiring. So, Marko, starting us off, kind of tell us like what time frame you got into bodybuilding itself and like how that looked for you in the beginning.
So, at 16 years old, I broke my arm snowboarding, and then my physical therapy was to just build muscle around my arm, right, where my left humerus. So I started going to the gym with my brother, and basically I got my first arm pump, and then the rest was history. Like, I was like, this is cool, right? And then so I was just bodybuilding like a regular gym bro, you know, just going like not really. I didn't even know what a diet was, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would just eat like Nutella sandwiches and stuff like that, and for like till I was 19, and then I saw this coach who came in, who was like a local coach, and then he competed, and then I wanted to compete as well, because that's the first time I really knew you could compete in bodybuilding. So I didn't hire him. He helped me out for free, which was really cool. His name is Todd Lee, so if he ever watches this, shout out to Todd Lee, thank you.
Shout out Todd.
Yeah, and so he helped me out, and then I prepped, but I never competed, and I basically didn't cheat. I had one cheat meal. I was at 19 years old. One cheat meal a week he gave me. And then I hired someone else at 21, and then
So why didn't you compete?
I actually got sick, and then I just said I don't really believe in. I mean, I believe in competing unless you can go pro, just because I wanted to do it once.
Right.
But I just I was sick. I couldn't even. I slept 1 hour a night, and I was like, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
And then basically I had a whole cheat meal, basically a whole cheat day after. And then I was just bodybuilding regular, still dieting and stuff like that, following what I learned from him. And at 21, I Google searched a random coach. I said good bodybuilding coaches, and then I saw Jason Theobald, Scooby Prep, and I hired him. I was with him for 5 years, and we did I think we did 3 preps. I only competed, or we did 4 preps. Only competed twice, because I don't think the first 2 times. Well, the first time I was really fucking small. And then the second time, I could have probably won the local show, but I didn't. I was like, what's the point? I didn't want to spend the money. And then the third time I competed, which was in 2017, did a local show. I won that. And then 2018, I knew I wasn't big enough for nationals, but I just did it anyways because I was going to compete anyway. So it's the same amount of money really, because it was close to drive. And then so I did that. I placed 7th. And then I almost quit bodybuilding after that, just because I wanted to place top 5.
Yeah.
And the reason I quit is because 4 of the people I followed that placed above me, I followed on Instagram, and some of them I talked to, replied to the stories and stuff like that. And I knew I worked 10 times harder than all of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is what the fuck's the point? I'm not cheating, or I'm cheating less than them. And I'm not, getting better results. So it's you're taught in life, the more you work, if you work harder than someone, you're gonna win. Basically, that's what you're taught, right? But in bodybuilding, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's literally a genetics game. It's 100% genetics, not 99, not 70. If anyone wants to hit me up after this and discuss it, I can prove you wrong.
Let me just.
It's literally all genetics. So I almost quit, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to be the best me I can be. So I just trained, I try to get strong and stuff like that. And then I was going to compete again in the following year, but I was too small. And I was like, fuck, there's no point.
Yeah.
So I backed out of that. Then I found Jordan Peters. You guys probably, I don't know if people have seen this or not, but Jordan Peters is from the UK. And I read his logs on his website, which is really good, by the way, trainedbyjp.com. I read his logs from like a year to the current, and he only had half a slice of cheesecake, I think, on Christmas for the whole year. Like that's like, so I was like, holy shit, like it's possible to not cheat. Because before I would cheat like maybe once a week, maybe once every like 3 weeks, because I would try to be perfect, but everyone, I don't know if you guys noticed, but maybe not now, but back then, everyone would say, all the gurus, all the coaches, top pros, Phil Heath, everyone, like the best and the best, they say it's impossible to diet year round. So like, I had that in my head, right? Like I'm like, if the number one person in the world can't do it, like who can like, why would I be able to do it, right? So that was like always in my head, because I'm a perfectionist. I don't want to say I'm like the most perfectionist, but like I'm not like what most people say are perfectionists, if that makes sense. Like I'm like in a extreme case, right? Not the most or anything like that, but more than the average. So once I found that out, that was basically the date of my last cheat meal in bodybuilding, 2019 March 4th, and I had like, and I actually got sick on that prep too, and that's why I kind of pulled out, and I was too small. And I was like, fuck it, there's no point. So my last cheat meal, I actually had like 2 back-to-back, like I ate whatever the fuck I wanted because I was sad. And ever since then, like I haven't had a cheat meal since.
I see this man. If y'all follow him, if you don't follow him, we'll link his Instagram below. But he's always posting his food, which is like great. I love
Go check
watching
his
it.
food out.
I'm like cream of rice every day with the almonds and banana in the way. I'm ready for it. But anyhow, I think too what you were saying, basically like you believed that it's impossible because like, the best people said it was impossible. And like that just goes to show like mindset, right? It's like just because the top person says you can't do this or like this is how it is, like that's their opinion. At the end of the day, you live by your opinion. And so it's like you get to choose how you live by like what you think, and that just because someone who may be above you says that, it doesn't mean that's how it is. And like that's what you like literally found for yourself, and you're like, I'm just gonna go do my own thing now. Right. Which is super great. And like obviously we're not on here like advocating like, oh, to be healthy you have to like never cheat. That's just how like Marko chooses like to do what he does, and like obviously there's a lot of benefit from it, and I think you have to kind of find what works for you. But yeah, definitely a lot of dedication. So anyhow, you ended bodybuilding competing. So what happened actually was in like December, at the end of the year, I basically quit. Like I actually quit bodybuilding. Like I didn't even want to like work. I like to work out, but what I wanted to do was, when I retired bodybuilding, was to do jiu-jitsu. Like that was like always the goal, like probably around like 35. I'm 26, so I did it like 10 years early because I was like, fuck it. But I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I paid for like 50 privates. I paid like $4,000 like to get 50, just because I want to be the best, right? Like I need to excel like as fast as possible. And if I have the money, like I'm just gonna, why not, right? I invested into whatever I want to do because I'm cheap everywhere else. Like all my clothes are from Walmart basically, because I don't really care. Like I don't care about materialistic things or anything like that. And then 5 months into that, I was getting really good, really good. Obviously, I was doing like 2 privates a week, which is a lot, and then like 14 classes a week, which is like really a lot, because not everyone has the luxury of like having your own schedule. So like I'm fortunate I can just work from home or from my phone and then just go to any class I want. So it is really cool, and it helped me excel. And then someone jumped on my knee, and then like I'm pretty sure this is self-diagnosed, and like I'm pretty sure I tore my MCL, so I can't even get out of bed like sideways. I have to like turn like a robot and then like get up kind of thing. So I can't do jiu-jitsu, but I can leg press, which is like I can't really hack squat or like squat, but like I can leg press, which is like it's enough, right? And I can do leg extensions. So I was like, let me just go back to the thing that I like to do, which is train. So now I guess I'm kind of bodybuilding until I figure out like what's wrong with my knee, and then I'll go back to training for sport specific if I do go back to jiu-jitsu. But now that's what I'm doing, and then obviously like if I get big enough and I can't do jiu-jitsu like until this heals or whatever, if it takes like 6 months, then in 6 months if I look good enough, then I might just be like, oh, let me just compete one more time. Because I took like after the nationals, basically I said I'm never going to compete again until I know that I can go pro, or at least like be a contender, like get top 2, like because people did you never know who shows up, but you can look at past shows and see who won and be like, okay, if I can't beat that guy, like I'm not going. So that's like kind of the mindset I had, and I never did another prep after
2018, and I've been in off season basically for like 3+ years.
Yeah.
So like it'll be like a 4-year, time span of getting lean to lean. So I've never been lean. I mean, I've been lean, but not like stage worthy. So it'll be cool.
Even those photos that I see on your Instagram with your like shredded glutes and everything like that.
He's like, that's still not it.
Like for you, that's still like not top tier for like. You're saying that's still not lean enough for stage, or what do you?
Oh, that's definitely lean enough for stage.
Oh, okay.
No one really nowadays. Back then, that was like not top pros. Sorry, like pros were hitting me up like with that picture. And like, how do you get that lean? And I'm like, you're a pro. Like, aren't you supposed to be getting right? You know what I mean? So now it's like more mainstream to have like shredded glutes and stuff like that. But that's like one of the best pictures I have.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was like the old room lighting. Like that's like 2 houses ago. Yeah, 2 houses ago, the room was like harsh lighting. It was like the best. It was literally the best, and like I miss it because like checking photos were always good. Now it's like they're shit. So like
whatever.
Yeah, the lighting is like everything, obviously. But no, those are from 2018. That's definitely worthy, but I'm small, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
bigger.
Yeah, I gotta get bigger, and then like we'll see if it's possible to get leaner than that. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is, but I'll try, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Do you plan to like coach yourself or have someone coach you?
No, I don't think anyone can coach themselves. I've never seen anyone coach themselves through a prep.
Because you don't have another eye,
Yeah, and like, especially someone like me, I'm very like emotional. So like, if you have any emotion like towards your prep, you can't coach yourself because you're gonna never see like. I remember going back to emails after like. No, that picture, like a week before, I would like text my coach or and be like, I'm fat, like I'm not competing, like we gotta get hard. But like I look back at the pictures when you're in off season, you're like, holy shit, like I thought I was fat then,
Now you can see it,
so, but that picture, like that day was like, okay, I've never said I was shredded ever. Like I was like, I'm not shredded enough, I'm not big enough. And I think that's why I can get that lean. And other people can't because I'm real with myself, or I'm very delusional, but in a bad way where I think I look worse than I do. A lot of people think they look a lot better than they do, which is really bad for bodybuilding. So like when I hit that, when I look like that, I'll be like, I look like shit. People will be like, oh, like they'll post it, and then their friends will be like, oh, you're shredded, and I'm like,
I think that's definitely a thing because you're like you have such high standards for yourself. You're like, I'm not there, like I'm not good enough, kind of thing. And so it's like it pushes you, but also like. It doesn't put you in a good place mentally either. So
no, I tell
it's like
people.
A double-edged sword.
Yeah, I tell people like I'm not right in the head, and that's why I don't want to say I'm good at bodybuilding because I look like crap, but like I have the work ethic. That's why. I'm never like people say they're never like I said. People say they're never satisfied, but like literally like I'm never ever. Well, like there's like 2 seconds. Like I'll get a PR. Like today I hit a PR at the gym by 2 reps. And I was happy, and then it went away. And then like now it's like the next week, right? I gotta get 2.5 more pounds or like 5 more pounds. So that's I think one of the key factors of. And another thing is, I don't have any friends really. Like I mean, you were friends, but like you know what I mean. Like, I don't really have
legit.
Yeah. So like one really bad thing about competing and like competitors and their friends, like people will post a picture, and then their friends will comment, and I get it, support. They're like, oh, you're shredded, and I'm like. Dude, like I look like this, and I'm 8 years out. Like, So it's like Andy Frisella says this thing. It's like your friends like shouldn't lie to you, and like, or get friends that are actually I almost as a joke would be like, yo, like use like charge people to tell you like a critique of your physique, but like a real one because no one will tell you. Like people like this one guy, and this is one of the things that I've done with. Friends do. One guy at the gym like just came up to me like this is like 2 years ago, and like showed me his stage shots like wheeling him. He was just like, hey, like this is what I look like what do you think? Like all this stuff because I was like,
no,
but I didn't because he was so nice and he looked like he looked really bad and I don't know him so I didn't want to say anything because whatever, but I should have and like I always think about that moment honestly, and I'm like. I know he would have probably thought I was a dick, but it would have. At least I would have done the right thing and told him like, dude, like you need to hire a better coach, or you need to hire a coach. I don't know if he was, hire a coach. So,
I mean, that shows like your difference, right? Like that's the same thing. Like when I was making like my films, I hated when I'd show my film and people would be like, "It looks great, it's fantastic." Like it pissed me off. Like I don't want you to tell me what's good. Tell me what's wrong. It's like, how can this be better?
Right.
How can I make this as perfect as possible? Like critique me.
Yeah.
It's like the same mindset, right? Like if your passion and your drive is to be the best, then don't tell me what looks okay, looks great. Tell me how to make me better. Like that's what I want.
As long as you can handle it,
Yeah.
right? Like. So like my arms are like super small, like in my opinion, and I'm pretty they're small. Like so like when people say like my arms aren't small, I'm like
You're just like
don't lie.
Yeah,
like,
don't lie to me like that. What are you doing?
lying. Like you know what I mean? Like improve your lying. Like look at my arm, right? Like so like don't, I don't need people unless I say like does my arm look big, and if I have a pump and it does look big, like okay, like but like if I say like my arm's small, like. It is small. Like you can literally look at my stage shots or whatever, and you can just be like, his arms are small, or like his upper body is like super small. You know what I mean? So that's like getting friends that won't lie to you and hype you up. Like, and it's cool. Like you can say other stuff. Like you look good, you look great, but like maybe comment that, but then like DM them and be like, hey, like I think you should get more shredded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I think that's true. I mean, for me, I'm like I know who's like legitimately in my circle and who's not.
Yeah.
And like the people who aren't like their opinions, like they say, oh, you look great, like great. But like the people that are, like, of course, like their support means a lot to me and like compliments and stuff like that. But like I want to know not only like within bodybuilding, but within life, like, hey, am I doing a good job here? Or if I'm not, like, tell me what I need to fix. And that's just being a good human in general, like you're saying. And that's like a reminder to myself, like, I'm not here to like talk to other people that don't know well and be like, hey, you need to fix this. Like that's not my job. That's not my job. But like my sister, like my best friend, whatever, like that's your job to kind of gracefully swoop in and be like, hey, like this is where we can grow, And within bodybuilding, that's super important because it is such a supportive atmosphere, which I love, but I think being a little bit more raw is good too, which we don't have a lot of.
It's the support is good, but it's almost fake support, and like, I hate fake compliments. Like it's almost like I look worse than I think I do because you're faking it, right? So like when people are when I post something, especially like when someone's really fucking big, and then like I'll reply to their story and be like, bro, like your arm looks huge or something, and then like they're literally like an open bodybuilder, and then they're like, bro, like your arms are almost the same size, like. Dude, like your arm is literally
so
no, they're not.
It's they're literally not, like, you know what I mean? Like
it's just throwing it out there, like, oh, you calling me? Let me just.
Or when people say, dude, you're strong, and it's like, but they bench like 5 times more than you. It's like, how does that? It's
correlate. Yeah.
You can still get a good set or something like that, but like, you know what I mean? I just don't like fake comment because then it makes me feel even more bad about myself because I don't think I'm strong, right? Then like, that means I'm so weak that someone has to lie. You know what I mean? Like if you're so ugly, someone's like, yeah, like you're good looking, and it's like, oh fuck, I'm bad. Like like they can't even. Like so, just fake comments, and then like if someone is like, and this is harsh, and I would never say to someone like who like either couldn't take it or like I want someone to tell me like basically me like if we're friends and we're sitting here and then like. Let's say like I'm getting fat or something and you're like I want you to tell me I'm getting fat, but like now in society like that's like wrong to do and stuff like that because people are so like sensitive and stuff like which is fine, but it's not fine. It's not fine. Like I don't know, and like the whole like, and this is fine too, obviously you can live however you want, but like normalizing people like being out of shape. Oh, like love your body and fine. How about like love your body but know you're fat and like you need to get better.
Take care of yourself.
Like absolutely, because I was gonna make a post on something like this kind of, but like people are like the thing they say, you do you, that's such a thing. Like you do you can love yourself, absolutely love yourself. You do you, but like when it comes to the point where you're using that as an excuse to just do what you want rather than what you need is when it's detrimental. Like realize that. Like stop making excuses to like cover up where you're at. Like realize where you're at, like, and get better. That doesn't mean you have to hate yourself where you're at. That just means you have to be real with yourself. And like I think society, like you're saying, is too sensitive, and they're just like everybody love everybody and like love your body no matter what, and like that sounds really bad. You should love your body, but realize when you need to like better your health. Longevity, life.
I have it. I like to like know how people think as well, like mental, like it, like, if you like did something, like I literally want to know like why you did it. Like if it was something like absurd or something like that, like I would like. But I haven't put really thought into this, but I don't really think people would say like I love my body like how it is. Like they're lying to themselves, because if you're fat, like why would you want to be fat? No one wants to be fat. If you could like snap your fingers and be like shredded all year and look how you want, like your dream physique, you would do it, right? So maybe you don't hate it, but why not say like I don't look how I want to look, let me get better, kind of thing, right? Like it's, I don't know, like it's okay that you're fat, like I'm a fat piece of shit, but I need to go do something, I'm gonna go do something about it, kind of thing.
And that's what you have to realize for yourself, like people can't do that for you, and that's okay if it takes time, but self-realization. Do we?
Yeah, I'm not restart, so
Restarting off. I was still going, so that's good.
It is. But I know this puppy will like randomly like she does all of it.
I want to get like a small camera.
Yeah, that's what we want
to
so I can
vlog one.
Yeah, because I don't know. I need to learn how to edit too, but like like if you see like the if you know the JP videos, like if you go on their thing and he'll post like their like subscription site like teasers or whatever, like the little whatever. Like they look, it's so dope. Like they got the facial, like it's the guy who edits them is like really good. But like I just want to get, and it would be good to like have like for your like when you're like 35, you know what I mean? Like you have all these sick videos that you can go back to. Because I know when I quit, I know that when I quit, like I would like look at back like some of my sets like on Instagram, like when I was just doing jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, and it was only like a weekend. Like obviously I love training, but you know what I mean. So it'd be cool to have like. Because you can go back on your Instagram in like 10 years, hopefully.
Yeah, right. I know. That's why like it's so cool that she's creating like all this really good content. And, like I have her sisters, so I'm just like, hey,
literally.
Let me be in there.
Wait, could you do? I'm like, my God, you have paid me to be your personal like videographer.
Okay, so we're still going.
But yeah.
All right, so I wanted to transition into training itself. If you don't follow Marko on Instagram, Marko_365.
365, yeah. Marko with a K.
Marko with a K. It's on his shirt.
Yeah.
Boom. And his coaching. We'll link all that below. But the way Marko trains, obviously, like he was saying, like he knows he works harder than the majority of people.
It's very intentional.
He's not saying that he is the hardest worker in this world, but like it's obvious that this guy works harder than basically anybody
99%
else.
people.
I know. So, and then I was talking to him before the podcast kind of about that. So go ahead and share, like, when you started training, your mindset towards, like, how training effectively / training hard, and then your transition to where you're at now kind of thing.
Yeah. So when I first started, so let's just go back to when I first started bodybuilding. Like when I first, so 19 years old, I would watch like, basically like Dorian Yates, right? That's like everyone's like, you know, blood and guts and stuff like that. And how they're screaming and stuff like that. Yeah. And basically I would just try to mimic that. I like, it's kind of like lame, I guess, but like I like, when I see something cool or I see something I want to be like, I literally try to copy like everything. Like I'll literally even try to copy like the way they grunt, because it'll like I'll feel like I'm them, and then like it'll make placebo, it'll make me stronger. But so basically I try to emulate that, and I would just go basically be the asshole in the gym that like grunts, but not for no reason. But when it hurts really bad, only really on legs, and then like the last reps on stuff. So basically I did that from basically try to be Dorian Yates, right, from like 19 to like 23, and then that's when I found JP, right, and like how he trains, and like that was like, it's like a level up. Like I don't care anyway, he'll probably say like it's not a level up, but the way he trains and his athletes try to train is next level. It's like you can see it in the facial expressions. I used to like hashtag something on my stories like you can't fake facial expressions. Like basically like if you don't look ugly when you're lifting, like you're not even lifting, working at like hard at all. And then even I'll catch myself sometimes like I'm not really squeezing the contraction. I'm like, you know what I mean? So that's why I was video stuff as well. Based on then 23, I've been since 26 now. I've been trying to basically train as hard as Jordan Peters, which is every week or every month. I'm like, okay, like I need to like contract harder or push harder and stuff like that. And then every leg. So the leg press actually. So leg days are kind of hard for me when I do like leg press, is because when I was training like Dorian Yates with my buddy, his Instagram Savage Cereal, that's what I call him. we were like the Dorian Yates, like in this one gym, where you could do whatever you wanted. I mean, the floors were like probably never vacuumed. They were literally never vacuumed.
There was
there was like flies in the sink. Like
there you go.
The urinal smelled like dog crap.
Yeah.
And we would train like I would safely say I was trying to be an asshole. There, like I would literally, because like you can, it's no rules, right? So like I would just yell because I want to yell. It makes me hype, right? And like we would literally spot each other. And then one time I had him record like a bunch of plates. It wasn't like good form or anything, but it was probably like 1,000 pounds. I had on the leg press and like the side backs where there's no stoppers either.
Dang.
And basically I tried to like go for more and more reps, and then like the leg press fell on me. And it literally like hyperextended, like my leg was like here.
Oh my god!
And so like ever since that, like I thought I was gonna die because I didn't know where the stoppers were.
Yeah.
And I was like during that time I accepted death. I was like I'm fucked, like I'm dead. And I got out, and then it was like I don't know. I didn't even like realize what happened because I thought I literally thought I was gonna die. So ever since then, unless I have like 2 spotters or someone that's really strong, I never go for like that extra rep. So like on my leg press, and like I never like really can train to like true failure because I'm like I don't want to get injured. But it's like hard enough where like maybe I miss like every other workout like 1 rep because but if I have 2 spots, I'll usually go to failure. But now since I have my torn MCL or like self-diagnosed, I don't know yet. I can't even train that hard either because I don't want it to snap and then go all the way fall on me. So I still try to train pretty hard. It's still harder than, like you said, the majority of people. But going back, now I just try, like I said, I try to train just like JP, Jordan Peters, and just try to get better and better every time. There's always a level up that you can train harder mentally. So if you think you're training hard, you might be for that day. Next workout, try to train harder. If you say like you can't train harder, you don't even train hard. Like you might, but like in the aspects of the world, like you don't, because there's always another level mentally that you can get to, no matter how. Even Jordan Peters, like I know I talk to him. I talk about his work ethic like he's a god or whatever, but even him, he can level up, if he tries, which I'm sure he is. So there's always one more level mentally. That's kind of the approach I take to my training.
I mean, that's what you're saying with when you're saying like people in the US, top people were saying, oh, there's no way to like literally for a year continuously being perfect, sticking like people are gonna cheat, like there's like impossible. And then someone else, well this guy did it, then why can't I do it? It's the same thing, that mental capacity that holds everyone back. It's like there's always one more. There's always like, and once you get there, there's always something else. Like you just have to push beyond what you think is capable or like capacity. I don't know. I mean, like what makes you so? Because like obviously, me and Sarah have never met someone with your mindset, because you're so like what you're saying, you're a perfectionist to probably more extreme degree than most people. Yeah. But you're also extremely intentional, like with everything you do, even the way you're speaking. Like, oh yeah, like. Fuck it. All right, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm gonna like literally completely push my body to the absolute capacity that I have, and that's gonna be in what I eat and what I train and how like I operate and what I do. But like most people can't even fathom like trying to be in that capacity. So like why? Like what made that switch for you? That like I want to be this intentional with everything I do.
I think I've always been, like I said, messed up in the head. So when I was younger, this is like a good like example, I think. There's a game called RuneScape. It's a computer game. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but basically like it takes, like 20 years to get to the max level. And I started playing in middle school, and I would like wake up, like I would try to like level up my character, right? Like before school, and I'd run home. I used to live across the street from I'd run home so I could play. And then like if I like eat and like if I don't eat and play, and I have to eat something that I can't play, or like my mom makes me eat something, or like makes me eat with the family, like I get this like thing in my head where I'm like, fuck, like all I'm thinking about is missing out on that progress, that time that I could be leveled up. So that's how I've always been. So now like if I miss 1 second on a cardio, and it's like I'm supposed to do 30 minutes for that day, if I miss 1 second, it's 1 second is probably not going to do anything to you, right? But if I miss it and I lose the show or lose whatever, I'm going to be like, if that's the only thing I fucked up in prep, I'm going to be like, that was like
that
was the thing that I separated from first to second place, or first to whatever. So I just want to be the best I can be. I'm not saying I am, because I don't think anyone's perfect, but so that's why training hard, or at least as hard as you can, right? And dieting perfectly and trying to get sleep is probably the most important things in bodybuilding to progress. And those are the things that I do perfectly every time, or more than the next person, because I don't ever want to lose because I was out work. That will never happen. So ever like in life. Even now, like JP, like I haven't done it for as long, but like he's taken more cheats technically than me. Obviously, because he's been doing it for like 15 years. So if you only cheat once a year for like 15 years, like obviously I'm nowhere near that. But if I continue this for 20 years, technically I'm going to be the hardest working person in the world in bodybuilding. And that's like now not debatable. Like scientifically proven, like no one, you know. So how I got there, something you were saying, like when you hear something. So this is a really big factor to my work ethic. I think there was like a span of a year where I was like, I didn't really know what I was doing with my life. And it was like from like, I think like 18 to 19, or from like 19 to 20, where I would just listen to like motivational stuff all day, every day. I'm talking about like, I would walk around. I would even sleep with my headphones in, and like I would listen to, you know, like what you need to do to be successful, all the stuff, all the people that do it. Like, and once I realized that successful people, like really like actual wealthy people, that's what I listened about, were just normal people, or like professional athletes were just like normal people. And it's like, oh, like anyone can do that. Like literally, like not really, because like if you're like 4 foot tall, or like a midget, you can't be an NBA player. But like, for the most part, there's most things in life, like if I want to start a business, like I could do that. There's no genetics in that. That's just like saving up money or whatever, right? So I was like, man, you know, if they can do it, like I can do it too. So I listened to that for like a year. I really think like it like brainwashed me or something to like.
I mean, we're always talking about like what you literally like what you pour into yourself, that's literally what is externally going to come out of you, right? Like, if I'm continuously calling myself a piece of shit, well, I'm probably going to feel like a piece of shit. Like, it's like that same, like, mindset, like, what you choose to listen to, read, like, people you choose to hang around, like, what you continuously, like, allow your brain to intake, like, that's what you are going to become, you know? And so, like, definitely, like, I mean, Sierra constantly listens to, like, she's constantly listening to podcasts and different things just to grow her knowledge, to be a better coach, to be this. I'm like, that's how you take that step ahead.
I think, like, a lot of times people, they say they want to grow, and they say, you know, I want to be here, I want to do this, I want to do that, and, like, it's not going to do it for you. Like, or your mom's not going to do it for you, they're not going to do it for you. Like, at the end of the day, like, no one owes you anything, and I think that's, like, what really, like, can humble you and keep you grounded. Like, nobody owes me anything, and nobody's going to get me to where I want to be, so it's, like, it's up to me to be there. So, like, if you want to grow, if you want to be a good athlete, if you want to be a good, like, business owner, like, you have to be intentional with your life. If you're not waking up with the intention to, like, get this, and this done, then you're not growing to the capacity that you need to grow, and you're just, like, limiting your progress. So, like, obviously the way you choose to live and, like, how you think about things, it's like automatically you're setting yourself up for success every single day, because every single day when you wake up, you know that you're going to, you know you're going to train, and you know you're not just going to like just train, you know you're going to train to your fullest capacity, you know you're going to hit your meals, you know that you're going to, you know, do your client check-ins as you need to, blah, 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 blah. And so like this podcast, has a lot to do with bodybuilding, but it's just life. Like, it's just life. Whatever you do in life, that's what you do. So like, do it to your best and like figure out how you can be better. Like, I already know. I think I've talked about this a lot of times before, like my good friends and people I'm close to, like I get overwhelmed sometimes thinking about it, because it's like I have such high standards for myself, and I know that there's so much more that I can be doing, that it's like
others mean that I'm not
doing it
like in this moment.
Like, I need to do it all now. So it's like figuring it out one day at a time, like how can I be better? Because like when I get around people like you, or like around my friend like Kayla, we did a podcast with her, and like seeing how far people have gotten, like I'm a very driven, dedicated person, so like when I get around driven, dedicated people, it's like crap.
It's like a rush. It's like, damn, I'm not doing enough. Like, I gotta do more.
I gotta go. And so it's like, I know just being around you, like I need to do more. I need to get better, and whatever that looks like for me, for you, whatever. So yeah, very good, all that stuff.
I feel like we should go into like his thoughts on bodybuilding.
Oh yeah.
The reality.
Alright, y'all. We're gonna spill some tea real quick. So yeah, obviously we're all bodybuilding people, but everybody has different mindsets and outlooks, and I don't want to just to have like one outlook, one mindset, because I think there's a lot of things to share in different areas, and like Marko's experience is something different than other people's or even ours, and so we're just gonna be real and raw and let him like go at kind of how he views bodybuilding and like the industry really more than anything. I feel like so.
Mm-hmm. So the industry in the U.S. Okay, like I said, like I told you guys off camera, like if anyone wants to be a serious bodybuilder, you need to follow the UK scene.
Yeah.
Like that's Jordan Peters, anyone, all his athletes, you can follow them because they make us look like pussies, basically. Like they make us look like we don't even work hard. So that's one thing. And really, like bodybuilding, I don't know if you guys agree, but bodybuilding is not hard. Like it is not hard at all. Like I've done, like me just doing jiu-jitsu, like I was like, holy shit. Like when I went back to like, cause I couldn't do jiu-jitsu, I was like, this is so easy. Like so easy compared to doing an actual sport where you have to train a lot harder, honestly, than bodybuilding. But in other sports, depending on how hard you take it, obviously, you have to train and be perfect all year long, right? Like you have to train jiu-jitsu and be on your cardio all year long. In bodybuilding, everyone's like, oh man, like these last 16 weeks, this last 12 weeks of prep, or 20 weeks of prep, like I gave it my all, like I'll put all this hard work, blah, blah, blah. Like that's 20 weeks out of the year. Like what are you doing the other, weeks of the year? So are you working hard? I guess you are for that 20 weeks, but like that's 20 out of 52. How many years are into week 52? It's like 20 out of 52, like you have 32 more weeks.
Yeah.
Like where like you basically could have done those perfect days as well, and then it would be like working. Then I would consider someone like working hard. Like if you do it for a whole year, off season to prep, you have no cheats unless like your food's so high that you need to have a cheat meal. Then it's the same thing every week because it's the same calories. Then it's not off plan. Then like you can say you work hard, and like nobody works hard. Like people post like, I'm gonna win this show and stuff like that, and it's like, if I compete in that show and you win, which is probably because I look like crap. Let everyone know that like I don't look good. I don't think I look good. I'm not big either. But you only won because of genetics, like So because I've worked harder than you, so it's scientifically I've worked harder than you and for longer. Because some of these people who just jump into shit like into bodybuilding, 3 years later they're at the Olympia, and I'm like, how is that? To me that's not impressive at all. Like I don't care how good you look because you did something for 3 years half-ass and you're like one of the best in the world. That's not how life works, right? To be the best in the world at a business, like usually you gotta grow for like 20 years. Or like, the first 10 years fucking suck because you're not making any money, and then like you start making money. And then it's 20 years, right? Not 3 years of lifting like a bro and like having cheat meals in the off season whenever you want. Like what's hard about that? Like like really, like what is, like anyone that can tell me, like feel free, because I'll tell you why it's not hard, like at all. So one thing like you guys need to know, and this is not for anyone saying anything other than if they've worked the hardest. Like don't say you've worked the hardest when you've had cheat meals in the off season. It makes no sense. Maybe that you can be, but not like hardest. Like you know what I mean? Because you're not mentally strong enough to be an elite bodybuilder, or at least have the elite work ethic. So that's like my views on that. And then bodybuilding is all genetics, all genetics, 100%. Nothing to do with work ethic. I'm gonna be honest with you, because if I've been working out for 10 years harder than somebody who's been doing it for 3 years, and I still look like shit, and they're top in the world, how is that not genetics? You know what I mean? I've worked 100 times harder than a top bodybuilder. Like I can prove it. Like whoever wants to argue with me, like I can prove it, and then we can bet money on like who's right. And it's like, but they're like a millionaire because they have all the sponsors or whatever. They're like, making six figures or whatever, and I'm over here a nobody. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't know like my work ethic, you'd be like, this guy looks like he's natural and like he's an amateur. Like you know what I mean? Like, but I've worked 100 times harder than someone who's 100 pounds bigger than me. So it's like, it makes no sense. So that's one of the reasons I quit, because it wasn't about hard work, it was about genetics.
Yeah, I think that's very, very true. I mean, like, I don't think that's what people want to hear. Obviously, like, we compete, like, you know, I'm competing because it's just, like, I love it. Really, for me, it's become a lot more than just about being on the stage. Like, that's just kind of my new part of it. Like, I just love the lifestyle of it. But, like, yeah, genetics, like, let's be real, it plays a huge role. And so, like, he was saying, you know, Marko, let's say there's Marko and there's John, bodybuilder, right? And, like, Marko works way harder, but John works, like, maybe, like, 80% as hard, but has, like, 20% better genetics. Like, he's gonna win, you know? Like, so, absolutely, you have to put in the hard work, but that doesn't really mean that you're gonna be an IFBB pro because you put in all that work, which is kind of, like, unfortunate, but
it's the reality.
Yeah, it's one of the, I would say, I've only done jiu-jitsu and soccer, like, competitively. I think it's the most genetic, like, sport.
Really, soccer? Okay.
Yeah, I played soccer, yeah. I played for, like, since I was, like, 3 to, like, 18, or something like that, so, or, like, 17, and then I quit to bodybuild, or, like, to work out. After I got the bicep pump, I basically quit.
Yeah, he saw the pump, and he's like, oh, okay.
I quit my, I quit my, like, high school team, and whatever, they were all pissed and stuff like that. It was fun. But, yeah, so, yeah, I mean, it's fine, and, like, it's fine to compete for whatever reason you want, but people need to know, kind of like when people say they think they're shredded, right? Or like your friends are like, oh, you work so hard, all this stuff. Did you really work hard? Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people, you know, people who talk to me who, like, they're like my Instagram friends, like, talk to me a lot, and this is not to shit on them or anything, but they're like, they think they work hard, but, like, they know I work harder, right? Like, I've talked to them, or they've asked me, or, like, they know, but they'll still put on their captions, like, no one's outworked me, or, like, stuff like that, and I'm like, you literally, like, but the thing is, in bodybuilding, people aren't literal, right? So, like, when I tell people, like, I don't take cheat meals, they're like, oh, that's crazy, right? And then 10 minutes into the conversation,
it's like that literally.
I tell them, like, yeah, my last cheat meal was March 4th, 2019. They're like, oh, like, you really don't cheat. And I'm like, because everyone says, like, everyone says I don't take days off and stuff like that, and it's like,
everyone says
that, right? Yeah. Like, it's funny, if you watch any bodybuilding podcast, it's so funny. There's one recent one, I'm not going to say, like, you know, I'm not going to throw shade or anything like that. Like, someone won a show, they had him on the podcast, and they're like, man, like, you're like all in, like, yeah, like, they're like, no days off, all this stuff, right? And then, like, 2 minutes later, they're like, oh yeah, post-show, I had, like, a bunch of cookies. Like, too many cookies. And then,
too many!
And then the next day, too. And it's like, you literally just took 2 days off.
Yeah.
So how are you all in and, like, no days off?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like,
see, this is cool because I think, like, this is a mindset we don't hear. And, like, people definitely use terms a lot, but, like, they don't really realize what they're saying compared to, like, what it actually means.
Right.
And, like, Mark is like, here, this is what it actually means, and y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It's like it pisses me off, and, like, and it probably pisses me off because I can't look like how I should look, right? Or, like, if I had good genetics. So obviously, like, there's nothing wrong with it. It shouldn't bother me, but it does, right? Like, I should work on that myself, like, where, like, it doesn't really matter how, like, if someone says they're working hard, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, that's them. Like, I need to be happy, but it just, like, bothers me because it's like I want that. Like, I want good genetics. I want to be 250, you know, shredded on stage because I've put in the work, right? Yeah. It's like, and then, you know, and another thing would be, like, when people, like, go pro and, like, I look better than them, and it's like, bro, you're like if I went pro and if I went pro and, like, I know I look like, if I went pro, like, let's say I competed, like next year, I'd be like, I can't believe I went pro, I look like fucking shit. I need a lot of work. Like, I'll say I look like shit. Yeah. But people go pro now who look worse than me. So if I'm saying I look like shit, you look like absolute shit.
Yeah, you're absolute
So, like, if you go pro and you get a pro card, and it's like, and you're not saying, holy shit, like, I'm a pro, that's cool, but, like, I don't really deserve it because look how I look. So that's the thing, going back to people are delusional. So if people weren't delusional, they'd be way better bodybuilders. Yeah. At the end of the day. So.
No, I like the reality, the rawness.
Yeah. I take everything literal.
Oh wait, I'm so bad at this. I told you.
charging.
Y'all, I'm terrible at technology. Everything.
I think the battery's low.
Yeah, it's about to die. That's why.
Oh.
It was like, yeah.
Alright.
Wow, looking cute, Sierra.
But I feel like this podcast may discourage people.
Honestly, well, did
But,
not
like,
do that for
let's
me. I would
just,
say that. I
like,
did like
bring
the
the-
opposite, but
Like, for me, I'm like, shit, like, this, like, freaking motivates me. But, like,
Yeah.
if you feel discouraged, it's not to discourage you. It's just to, like, open your mind to a different mindset. So, like, don't be closed-minded and be like, oh, this is just saying that I'm, like, not doing anything right. Like, no, maybe you're doing things right, but you can do things better. And this isn't saying, like, oh, you know, we have to be as extreme as, like, having no cheat meals. Like, I highly respect that, but, like, that's not for everyone. So this is not saying,
Yeah.
like,
No.
this is not saying that you're a piece of crap because you're only doing this.
you're a piece of shit.
I mean, if
ate
you are
sushi
a piece of
last
crap,
night,
then
yeah.
just, you know, own it and, like, get better. But, like, basically, this is just kind of opening my mindset to, like, how you can think about things and view things and how you can get better, because you can always get better and you can always level up. And, like, it's way beyond the physical in bodybuilding or in life. Like, it's like the mental. Like, if your mindset can level up, then your body can level up. And, like, business, whatever it is. So, like, this, I love listening. So thank you, Marko, for sharing
Thank you
your
for having me.
perspective. And it just makes me want to work harder and do more. So hopefully it does the same for you. But we will link his Instagram below, his coaching below. Where can people reach you at?
On Instagram.
Just on Instagram. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. You can send him a DM if you're interested in coaching or have questions.
Yeah. Y'all can keep up with his bananas and cream of rice.
Yeah.
The
my
bananas
boring
and
meals.
rice,
I love it.
every day, consistency, we love it. But yeah, that'll be it for us. So see you next time.